Hey, you gonna hang out with me a little bit? I got your mama to come out here and help me work on the car, but I can't get you to help me work on the car. What's up with that? And I don't want to hear that because you ain't got no thumbs excuse. Anyway, guys, today is Tuesday, February 14th, 2023. This is Valentine's Day, so I didn't even realize that until this morning. But anyway, I basically have 2 days left to finish 55 for the car show in Tulsa, and I can pretty much tell you it ain't going to happen. I'm not going to be able to get the car to starboards this year. It has been, I am so close, and there's only a few things left to do, but those few things are kicking my you-know-what. So I am spending a couple hours on one little piece to try to make it nice, and it's, by the time you figure in all the other 2-hour projects, it ain't gonna happen. So the 55 is not gonna make it to Daryl Starboard's car show this year for 2023, but I can guarantee you it'll be there next year. So, and I can tell you this right now, I'm gonna try to compete in Fine 9 next year in Starboards. So that's where the direction I'm going now. When I first started building this car, I wanted to try to compete in that category at Starboard's show, because for me, local to this area, Starboard's is our big show. There's lots of other car shows, but they're just one-day outdoor car shows. Starboard's at Tulsa is, our prestigious car show, we'll say. It's our hometown big show, our nice show. So, because it's indoors and it's all weekend type of thing. And they always got cool stuff going on there. So I've always wanted to build a Fine 9 car, and I really don't have the funds for that type of thing. But I thought I would try, because you're not going to know until you try, you know what I mean? But anyway, the thing about it is, and I even thought this several weeks ago, I decided, well, I'm not going to do Fine 9 because I don't have the money to buy the rope and the stanchions and the carpet that goes into the car. Because when you do Fine 9 category, you got to have a fancy display to go with it, and I don't have any of that stuff. So, I wasn't going to be able to afford to get the car finished up for the show, be able to pay to put it in the show, and then turn around and buy all that stuff too. So I just had decided a few weeks ago that I'm not going to try Fine 9. I'll just enter it in the regular show. And then the reality is, if you're going to try to compete in Fine 9, that you can only do it once. Like, I can't drive this car over there this weekend without a hood on it and the trunk upholstery done and put it in the show and then try to go for Fine 9 next year. The rules are it cannot ever have been shown in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it's a one thing. So it's either, take it unfinished or go for broke next year. And I've decided that I might be able to buy some ropes and stanchion and a piece of carpet to put under the car between now and next year. So that's what I'm going to do. So the 55 is not going to Starboards this year. I am, but it's not. But it's been a heck of a mess, man. Let me tell you. It's amazing to me the little things, how long they take to do one little thing, and it's been a fight. Like, every one thing has been a fight, and I'm pretty much tired of messing with it at this point. I can tell you that. I'm still working on it. I'm just tired of messing with it. I am burnt out, man. I am burnt. But anyway, I've got the armrest here for the left side, left door, and I've got to get it upholstered. I've got the door panel for the left side is done. It's upholstered and the stainless trim is installed. Now I got to finish up the armrest, get it attached to the door panel, and then I can put it on the car. I've got 3 more of these things to go, and this is pretty much what has got me really aggravated. This is the seat shells. These go on the bottom of the front seat. There's 2 of them that go along the bottom and 2 that go up the sides of the backs, and 2 on each side basically. And these are not fun to upholster because they have corners on them, and very, very difficult. I spent about 2.5 hours on that one, and I got 3 more to go. So, yay. But anyway, the door panel was another thing that took a couple hours to do, because just like the other side, it was a pain in the butt. And I thought going in on this one that this one would be way easier because I got that one done. I didn't think it'd be that difficult. The problem is, the biggest problem is the material. This is the gray pattern straw cloth, and this is original to the car, so reproduction of the original. It's new, but this stuff is very stiff, almost cardboard-like. It doesn't really stretch. Now you can pull on it and you can get it to move, but it has lines in it that go one direction. So when you pull too much on one side or whatever, you get waves in it, in those lines. So this stuff is extremely difficult to work with, in my opinion, but then again, I'm an amateur upholstery guy. So did not enjoy that, but it took about 2.5 hours to do that door panel. But I can tell you, I am very happy with it. I can work with it because it was turning out like crap, and I kept working it, and then I'd get mad, I'd walk off from it, and then I'd go back to it and work on it, and I finally got it done. Now I get to spend another couple hours doing this stupid thing, and I know this is going to be difficult because the one on the right side was very difficult, so I get to do that one. But anyway, it's just been a mess, and you know, when you're burnt out, you're burnt out. That's pretty much bottom line. So anyway, I'm actually looking forward to going to the car show to get out of this garage for a little bit. I'm tired of being out here, you know what I mean? I am burnt. But anyway, I've still got seat shells to do and get that door panel done. I still got to put the felt strips on the garnish moldings for the doors. I still have to pull the back seat out and try to tweak that rear armrest to get it closer to the seat. I have decided I'm going to put some carpet remnants, spray glue them to the floor back there because you can kind of see between the seat and the rear armrest a little bit. You can see the kill mat back there. So I got to try to work on that. Still need to change the ignition switch, and I want to do that before I put the front seat in the car in case I have to be on my back underneath the dash. I don't want the front seat in my way. There's three pieces I completely forgot about, kind of four things that I forgot about that I needed to get done before the show, because you know, if you're going to take a car to a car show and you're going to put lights and mirrors under it, you probably better have it ready. That's one of them right there. That is the torque converter cover that has not been touched because I got it off eBay. There's no torque converter cover on the bottom of the transmission. That's probably something you should probably put under your car before you put it in the show with mirrors. So anyway, when my buddy Mark was here, he changed the transmission pan gasket for me Sunday, and I was working on that seat shell, and he goes, "Where's your torque converter cover at?" And I completely forgot about it, like completely forgot about it. The other two items is front and rear sway bars. I do have brand new ones for the car, but they are mix match brands. I want to paint them gloss black so they look good on that matte finish paint on the chassis. So the rear one is actually gray hammer tone, and I don't know if that's powder coat or what it is, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be hard as a rock to try to sand that texture out of it. So I may end up having to use a filler primer on it and block it out. So I've got to paint the sway bars basically and get those installed on the car, which I do have all the hardware, and they were already pre-fit. I mocked them up on the frame before the body even went on. Still got to upholster the trunk, which I decided I wasn't going to take it to the show. Or I was going to take it to the show but not even open the trunk. But I don't have the rubber on the trunk. So I have the rubber now, but I don't have it on the trunk, so that needs to be put on. There's just not enough hours in the day left is what I'm telling you. There's way too much to do. And the other thing is the underneath the rockers of the car, the bottom of them down here. These are, you know, I didn't have the body on a rotisserie when I painted it. I had it on a body cart, but I did have it raised pretty good, and I painted the whole body shell in here. But I had to get down really low to paint the bottom of the rocker. Well, it's, you know, the paint is terrible looking under there. It's all dry spray and really rough looking. So I need to sand and buff the bottom of the rockers, and actually the bottom of the quarters back there on the back. The little flat part where the quarter panels roll back here, this flat panel along the bottom, that needs to be sanded and polished. So there's just too much to do. And then to top it off, I never have put more gas in the tank than the 2 gallons that I put in it, or 3 or whatever it was, when I changed the sending unit out because it was leaking fuel. I put another sending unit in it, and I don't even know if this one still leaks or if this one leaks. So it's just not going to make it. There's no way. So But anyway, this weekend and yesterday was a big mess for me. It just further put me behind. So Mark changed the transmission pan gasket for me Sunday, and then he left. I had another buddy of mine that was he was supposed to come over, and I was going to have him do the trunk panels in the trunk, the masonite, cut it out and fit it for walls to be upholstered. And I was going to work on seat shells and front seat backs and stuff. I was basically going to do upholstery while two other guys worked on different things. And I thought, man, that'll get me caught up. You know, it'll get me ahead and I can make it. And it just didn't work out. When Scott finally got here, I think it was the first thing he asked me. He goes, "You think you're going to make it?" And I said, "Probably not." But I was pretty irritated. I'd actually texted him and told him, you know, don't worry about coming over. I was pretty mad. The garage door, actually, the cable come off the spool and the door almost fell on the car. I had the trunk open on the car, and the little roller on that door fits into a sleeve, and there was probably that much of that left before it would have popped out, and that would have fell down and hit my car. So I dodged a bullet. But I spent about an hour and a half getting the door back together and working again. And I'm not a garage door expert, so I had to be very cautious and careful because the car was in here. But it was a mess, man, I tell you. But anyway, the rest of that evening was spent talking. I didn't get anything done but talking. Not one wrench got turned, nothing after that garage door thing. So anyway, I got up yesterday morning and I thought, heck with it. I'm going to just stay up all night and just stay working on the car and try to get caught up and go ahead and try to get it done. And I had my garage door up, I am not kidding, probably 30 minutes. I don't know if somebody's got satellite camera they're watching me with or what. I had a buddy I hadn't seen in a while show up. Actually knew I was trying to get the car ready for a show, and he didn't come over to help, he come over to talk. When you come over to talk and you're trying to work on a car, you don't get no work done. You know what I mean? So again, lost a couple hours. So at that point I was pretty much done, and then he left. Then I closed the garage door and it didn't get opened again yesterday. I just stayed in here like a prisoner and worked on the car. So lunchtime rolls around, and this is what really put the nail in the coffin, we'll say. I decided that I am tired of eating cold sandwiches, because that's pretty much what I eat every day for lunch. It's either ham, turkey, you know, something like that, roast beef, on white bread with cheese and, you know, either spicy mustard or mayonnaise and potato chips. I'm sick of it. So we had some leftover roast in the refrigerator, and I thought it would be a fantastic idea to use the skillet that I had cooked hamburger meat in the night before that had all that grease in it, and crumble up the roast and cut up the potatoes out of the roast and place them without any of the juice in the skillet and fry them. And then at that point, while it was frying, I put in a third stick of butter. So some of you are probably like, "Oh man, that sounds good." And the others are probably dry heaving. Now you guys that are dry heaving get the prize, because that's exactly what was happening later for me. I overdid it with the grease, and about 30 or 45 minutes after eating that, I was sick at my stomach. I ended up going to bed and sleeping. And the rest of the evening, while I was awake, I was still sick at the stomach. So today I woke up, I'm fine, but man, it was a rough day yesterday, let me tell you. But it's just, I pretty much had to decide to throw the towel in, because if I'm going to try to compete for Fine 9 next year, I can't take the car. So, and I'm not going to drive it to that car show and leave it in the parking lot either. So the car's staying here. But anyway, there are other shows, you know, that are going to be local, not in Tulsa, that I will probably take the car to. But anyway, now there's no more deadline for me, and I'm kind of glad, because I'm really sick of messing with it. I am burnt out on this car again. So it's close, but you know, when it takes 2.5 hours to do the door panel and 2.5 hours to do one seat shell, and there's 3 more of them, there's no telling how many hours it's going to take to reassemble and set up and bolt on the flippers. There's a lot more time it's got to go in the car, and I still got to sand and paint the hood, which I was going to do that today, but it rained, so there won't be none of that going on. So that's where I'm at. But anyway, guys, if you were planning on going to the car show, I am going to go, me and my wife's going to go Saturday, and I'm planning on being there when they open the gates to allow people to start paying to get in. So that's, I'll have to check. I think it's 11 o'clock, but I'll have to look for sure. I don't know, but last year, every year I go, when I don't take a car, I just go to watch or look. I'm usually there right before they open the gates, and that way I'm not standing in line that's a half a mile long out in front of the building. So anyway, I'm going to go, and I'm going to video the show. I'm going to video some of the cars at the show. I did a video of the Starboard show last year, and it did pretty well, but I only videoed the cars that I thought were really nice. I'm not going to go in there that show with as many cars as at that show, and I'm not videoing every car. I can tell you that right now. So I will video what I think, what I like, we'll say, with the exception of I'm wanting to try to do a video of just details. It'll be of all different cars, but it's just the details of the cars. Like if I see somebody that done a custom air cleaner, or done some custom sheet metal work under the hood, or something cool that I think's cool and they done a nice job on it, I'm going to video that stuff. But anyway, I thought that would be an interesting video because I'm a detail kind of guy. I like details, so that might interest one other person besides me. But and then I'm going to do the regular, videoing of the other cars. Definitely the Fine 9 stuff. But anyway, I'll get a little bit of everything. I like everything, but I'm not going to go in there and video everything. And I got to tell you this too, and I'm not trying to, sound like a jerk, but the newer model cars, like the 2000 model cars and stuff like that, I won't be videoing those. It's not my thing. I go to car shows to see old cars. I don't go to see cars that I can see at my neighbor's driveway or in the parking lot at Walmart. You know what I mean? So the reason I say that is last year on my car show coverage of Starboards, I didn't video somebody's Dodge Challenger, their new Dodge Challenger, and they wanted to know why. So it's not my thing, you know what I mean? But anyway, I go there for the old cars. But anyway, that's the plan. I'll be there Saturday doing some videoing, and anyway, I need to get in there and check and see what time they open the gates and see how much it's going to empty my wallet to get in there. Last year I want to say it was $25 per person to get in or something, and me and my wife went last year, so it's $50, and they might have increased the price this year. I don't know. So now I've got to find out how much it's going to cost to get in there. Had I have pre-registered for the show, I would have already had 2 passes, but I never did because you got to send in pictures of your car, several pictures of your car, and it wasn't finished. So nothing like waiting until the last minute, you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Catch you later.